Hey there, future data rockstars. Put away those outlandish glasses and flashy jewelry. No need for a costume change, it's your data's time to shine. Welcome to the ultimate jam session where Excel takes center stage with its superstar XLOOKUP. In today's video, we are not just playing the hits. We are going deep into the data groove and exploring some advanced drifts of XLOOKUP. We've got not one, not five, but 10 rocking examples to amp up your data analysis skills. So grab your data guitars.
I want you to grab it. I want you to get my guitar.
And let's create some chart topping spreadsheets. Let's go. Here is some sample data that we will use to understand XLOOKUP. Before we do anything, I would like to turn this data into a table format. That way our formulas will be smaller and easier to understand. So I'll just select any cell and press Ctrl T to create a table. As this is our staff data, I'm gonna name this table as staff. You can do it from the table design ribbon, name area here. We'll begin with example 0, which is the basic syntax of XLOOKUP. Let's say you want to find the information about a certain employee. All you have is their employee ID in a cell like this, and you would like to find out their name. You can use the XLOOKUP function like this. XLOOKUP the ID of the employee, and then where the ID is. So ID is in the employee ID column. You can select the ID column in the table like this. Alternatively, you can also place your cursor on the header, and when it turns into black arrow, you can select the header. So you'll say staff table employee ID column is where my ID would be. And then we would like to return the name of the employee. You can type the name column like this, staff table name. And when you close the bracket and hit enter, you will get the name of that employee as exact Hoover here in the result area. Now let's get into the advanced stuff and write 10 advanced examples of XLOOKUP and understand how to use this formula to do some pretty amazing things with your data. Our first example is to get all the columns instead of just the name. And we can use XLOOKUP like this. XLOOKUP, lookup value is the ID number here. Lookup array is my staff table employee ID column. And then for return array, instead of selecting any single column, we'll give the entire table as the option. Notice what happens when you hit enter, you are gonna get the entire record for exact Hoover. So their name, ID, everything. Unfortunately, when XLOOKUP returns the values, it will only return the value, not the formatting. So you'll need to apply the formatting as you want. One quick way to do this is you can select any one row from your data, click on the format painter and select the result. This will apply the consistent formatting here. And as this is dynamic, I can search for a different employee. For example, here is the information for Rajni Kaut. Our second example is just like first example, but instead of getting all the columns horizontally, we would like to show them vertically here. This is where the formula is exactly similar. So we'll say XLOOKUP ID in the staff table employee ID column, return the staff table, and rather than leaving the result as it is, we'll now have to send this whole thing to the transpose function. What transpose function will do is it will take the horizontal data and make it vertical. So you'll get it downways like this. Again, you'll have to apply the formatting. Our third example is begins with. So we have got a name of the employee. All we know is their name begins with John. We would like to see their full name and date of join here. We can use XLOOKUP like this. XLOOKUP, lookup value is John, but because it's not the only thing, it just begins with John. We have to say John ampersand and in the double quotes star. Then the lookup array is the name column. Again, you can use mouse pointer to select or you can type the value. And then the return is we want to return the entire name again. So we'll have to give the same name column again. And this is important. Match mode is number 2, wildcard character match. So you have to say that. And when you close the bracket, you will get the name of the person, John F. Kennedy. We can use a similar formula for getting the date of join and find out that he joined the organization on 17th of February 2020. Here is a challenge for you. Instead of writing 2 separate XLOOKUP formulas, can you figure out a way to get both name and date of join with one formula? Let me know how you go with that in the comments below. I will explain my answer at the end of this video. Our fourth example is salary equal to or higher than. Given a salary of 52,000, we would like to find out if there is anybody exactly getting that much. If not, we want to find the next higher salary. So if you look at the salary column, we don't have anybody on 52,000. We have got 51,300 and the next one is 52,700. So in this case, this is the person that we are looking for, Woodrow Wilson. Let's go and find him. We can use XLOOKUP like this. XLOOKUP, lookup value is 52,000. We would like to look up in the salary column, so staff salary, and then return the name of the person. But now comes the fun part. For the match mode, you will need to specify you're not just interested in exact match alone, you want to find exact match or the next larger item. So this needs to be 1. And when you close the bracket and hit enter, you are gonna find Woodrow Wilson's name here. Let's check for 58,000. That's for Richard function. Before we go into our fifth example, can I ask you to quickly like this video if you are enjoying it and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Thank you so much. Our fifth advanced trick with XLOOKUP is doing 2 conditions. So I want to find the name of the person, but all we know is their gender is female and their job title is a marketing manager. Essentially, we are looking for Franklin D. Roosevelt. Their gender is female and they are the marketing manager. So in this case, what we can do with XLOOKUP is we say XLOOKUP and the lookup value needs to be 1 and the lookup array is twofold. So we open a bracket and then we say staff gender is equal to female and then use the star to multiply with second condition staff job title is equal to marketing manager. Once you finish this operation, you simply say staff name as the output for your XLOOKUP. When XLOOKUP runs this, it's going to find that name of the person, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and return that to the cell. Let me explain how this works. Each of these conditions is going to return a bunch of true or false values. So when I select this, you can see that it is true, false, false, true, false, false, like that. It will be true if the gender of the person is female and it will be false otherwise. So the first condition produces a bunch of true false values. Second condition also produces a bunch of true false values. When we multiply this, wherever both conditions are satisfied, that will be 1 and all other things will be 0. This is because Excel treats logical values like true and false as 1 and 0. So when you are multiplying internally, that conversion will happen and both conditions met, that will become 1, all other values will become 0. That's why we look up for 1. So it will match the position where both conditions are met and then it will return the corresponding name of the person. You can use the same idea to not just check for 2 conditions, but more than 2 conditions as well. So give it a try. Our sixth advanced example is finding the name of the person who joined between 2 dates. So all we know is they have joined sometime between 20th of March 2022 and 1st of April 2022. One way to do this is you can apply filters on your data and look for date filters between and type both of the dates, and when you click OK, you are gonna find that person. In this case, we are looking for Aishwarya Row. So let's go ahead and write that XLOOKUP function. Surprisingly, this XLOOKUP is just like the previous one. So we'll say XLOOKUP1 and then open bracket staff date of join is greater than or equal to the first date. Multiply that with staff date of join less than or equal to the second date. And once such a person is found, we would like to get their name. So staff name is the output that I want. Again, the same explanation as earlier. We want the date to be on or after 20th of March and before 1st of April 2022. So both conditions need to be met, and that's where that multiplication thingy comes in. And when I select this, this is going to be again a bunch of zeros with just one value that has 1. And then that answer is what XLOOKUP would find. And we'll get Aishwarya Row as the answer. You might think, what happens if there are more than one person between those dates? So I'm going to change the end date from 1 April to 31st of December 2022. We have a lot of people who joined within that duration. And in this case, the XLOOKUP is going to return the very first person that met that criteria. And that would be Phil Clinton. Here you can see that he joined on 5th of September 2022. I'll talk a little bit about how to get all the matching values instead of just Phil Clinton alone at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. Our 7th advanced trick is finding the name and their full record of the person that is getting highest salary. We can solve this problem in two different ways. The first one is XLOOKUP, and instead of looking any specific value, we are interested in the highest salary. So we'll say maximum of the salary column, that will be the highest value. So look up maximum salary in the salary column. So staff table salary column. And once that value is found, we would like to return the entire row. So we'll say staff table is the output that we want. And we want this output to go down on the screen, not across. So we'll send this to transpose function. And we'll get the information here. So the person with highest salary is Abraham Link column. And the amount is 82,900. Like I said, there are two ways to do this, probably more than that. The second way to do this is, I'm going to copy paste the whole thing here and delete this formula, is to not use XLOOKUP at all. Because we are interested in the highest salary, we can also use the sort function. So sort the staff table, and the sort index is my salary column. So that is the 7th column in the table. If you count from name onwards, name being the first column, salary would be the 7th column. So sort index is 7 and sort order is descending, -1. Now when you sort this data, if I type here and hit enter, I'm going to get an error because this thing wants to go and sit on top of that. But if I take this and put it in a blank sheet, you can see that this is going to sort the table and put Abraham Lincoln on top with 82,900. We are not interested in sorting the whole thing. We just want to get this particular row alone. So this is where once the sort has finished, we want to take just the first row. So you can use the take function for that. Take row number 1 of that and then transpose that. So transpose take sort, and you will get the same result as XLOOKUP, but this one doesn't do any lookup, it just sorts the data. Can you think of any other ways to solve this problem? Let me know by posting a comment below. My 8th example is the longest serving employee. A longest serving employee is the person who joined earliest in our company. So their date of join needs to be the oldest. This is kind of like highest salary thing. So we can use the same approach. We can say XLOOKUP and then say minimum of the date of join column, and then look up the same thing in the staff table date of join column, and then return the entire staff table and send this output to the transpose function. We will find that Shahrukh Khan is our longest serving employee. He joined on 15th July of 2017, works as a product manager, and that is their salary. Just as earlier, you could also use the sort function to sort by date of join and get the top record using the take function. Try it out. Our ninth example is to find the second matching value. Here I have got a job title, production operator, and I want to find out who is the person that has that job title. But I'm not interested in the very first person. If you look at the data, we have got large bush here as the production operator, but this is not the record that I'm interested in. I want to find the second person with that data. So in this case, we are looking for Jimmy Charter. If I simply use XLOOKUP, look up this value in the staff table job title column, and then get the staff table name, I'm gonna find large bush. And that is wrong, because what XLOOKUP does is once it finds a match for production operator, it just stops looking. So it kind of stopped after finding large bush. There is one other operator that we could use here. So instead of this, you can go to search mode, which is the last operator for XLOOKUP. And then instead of first to last, you can ask XLOOKUP to do a lookup from last to first. What that will do is it will search from the bottom direction to find the match. So maybe if I say -1 here, let's see what happens. In this case, this is going to return Shahid Kapoor. Again, the wrong answer, because it's not what we want. We want to get Jimmy Charter, but production operator is a popular job. There are many people doing that. So it starts finding from the bottom and it finds the option here. That's the result that it is getting. So we don't want either of these. We want to get the second result of this. So this is where instead of using XLOOKUP, you can use a different function to solve the problem. So that function is the filter function. So you simply say filter the name column, and then for include, you say job title column is equal to production operator. If you just leave it at this, you're going to get all values. So instead, you need to say, take that entire thing and get me the second answer. So this is where the index function comes in handy. Index of that filter result and get the second value of that result. And that will show you Jimmy Charter as the person name. Our last example is a derivation of the ninth example. So here we are interested in all matching values, not just the second one. And in this case, we can simply use filter like this, filter name column, and then job title is equal to production operator. You're going to get all the people that work in that job. So we have Large Bush, Jimmy Charter, John F. Kennedy, Aishwarya, and Shahid. Remember the challenge that I gave you earlier? One formula to get both results. Here is the formula. Let's write this from scratch again. We'll say XLOOKUP, lookup John, ampersand star, in the staff table name column, and return, instead of returning any specific column, we are going to return the whole table, making sure that the match mode is number 2. So what this will do is it's going to return the entire row for John. So we'll get their entire information, but we don't want everything. We just want the name and their date of join. Name is the number 1 column in the table and date of join is the 5th column in the table. So we take this XLOOKUP result and then pass it to choose columns function, which is a new function in Excel 365. And then say that we want column 1 and column 5 of this result. That's going to give John F. Kennedy and their date as two cells in the screen. We don't want the values to go across. We would want them to go down. So we will send this entire output to transpose function, and we will get both of the results on the screen like this. As this is dynamic, if I don't want to look up John and I want to look up Harry, I can type that and we will get Harry as Truman's information here. How did you solve the problem? Post a comment and let me know. You know what? XLOOKUP is not the only rockstar of Excel. There is filter, there is index match, there is sum ifs. Wait a sec, there's a lot more. So here is a playlist with all the advanced Excel functions and some really cool uses for that. Check it out. And if you just want the top 10 Excel functions for data analysis, check out this video. And don't forget to like and share this video as well as subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying my work. I'll catch you in one of these places. Bye.